What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. We're less than 3 weeks to go until the return of the Premier League season, so that means we need to start worrying about our Game Week 1 drafts. In today's video, I'll be showing you the team of FPL Quinner, who ranked an amazing 14th overall out of over 10 million players in the 21-22 season. If you are watching this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 4k subs before the start of Game Week 1, so please do hit that sub button and support the channel. Keep an eye out at the end of the video where I'll be releasing the code for my own FPL Éire Prize League. First place will win a Premier League jersey of their choice for the 24-25 season, and second place will win a jersey from my own collection. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and follow me on my socials. We'll talk about that later on in the video. Let's see how Quinner is lining up. A first look at Quinner's team shows that he's opted for the 4-4-2 formation. He's told me that he's more faith in the cheaper defensive options than the cheaper forward options, so that's the reason for going for forward at the back. Starting off in goals, he's gone for Onana for United defensive cover, and since joining the game last Friday, he's already owned by over 11% of managers. Going Onana over Shaw has also allowed him to save $500,000, and I can't argue with this because I've gone for Onana as well. Moving on to his defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold earns the first premium spot in his team. Liverpool has some mixed fixtures to start the campaign, but the fixtures turned favourable from Game Week 4 onwards, so Quinner has opted to start with him from the start. Arsenal have some very favourable fixtures to start the campaign up until Game Week 7, so he's opted for Arsenal defensive cover in William Saliba. Rather surprisingly, he hasn't gone for the popular option in Gabriel, but it doesn't matter as long as he's got some Arsenal cover. Man City faced two promoted sides in their first 3 games, so he's opted for John Stones as a 5.5 million defender. John Stones scored in a friendly for City in Japan at the weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more frequent attacking returns from him over the season. The only concern would be with Pep Roulette, with City securing a few defensive options over the transfer window. Estepinian completes the back 4, and with 3 favourable fixtures for Brighton to start the campaign, I can't argue with his inclusion. He's also owned by more than 50% of managers in the game, so it's definitely the safe option going with the Brighton left back. Brighton do face Newcastle United in Game Week 4 and Game Week 5, so moving for a Chelsea defender in Game Week 4 could be the move for managers, and this is something Quinner is considering. Moving on to the midfield, Saka earns his spot as the Arsenal attacker in Quinner's team. Quinner has opted for Saka over Martinelli, with Saka being on penalties. Saka has impressed in pre-season so far, scoring once and assisting twice in 3 games. It will be a toss-up for most managers between Martinelli and Saka, but all I can say is make sure you have one of them, with Arsenal's favourable fixtures up until Game Week 7. With Mahrez heading for Saudi Arabia, FPL managers will be hoping Phil Foden can get some regular game time for City. Quinner has gone for mid-midfield, with myself included. It didn't take long for Foden to return, where he set up Haaland for his first goal. The good news about the Game Week 1 deadline is that City are the early kick-off on the Friday evening, so we may get some indication whether or not Foden is in their starting 11. Marcus Rashford earns a spot as the United attacker in Quinner's team. We're still not sure how Bruno Fernandes is going to line up with the signing of Mount, so I do agree with Quinner in paying more for Rashford. Matoma completes his 4-man midfield, coming off the back of an assist against Chelsea at the weekend. Bryan Mbeumo is a popular player that Quinner hasn't included, but if Matoma isn't firing, he can easily move to him or Eze. Jesus and Haaland completes Quinner's team in a 2-man front line. Jesus earns a spot with Arsenal's favourable fixture run, and the good thing about him over Martinelli or Odegaard is that he doesn't take up one of those precious midfield spots. He scored once in 3 pre-season games for Arsenal, but I'll be hoping he can hit the ground running with Arsenal facing Forest, Palace and Fulham in their first 3 games. It's no surprise that Erling Haaland completes Quinner's starting 11, and it would have been owned by just over 86% of managers. It's hard to understand how 14% of managers in the game still don't own him. Haaland continued his fine form since last season, scoring twice at the weekend in 45 minutes in a pre-season game, and he'd be a brave man not to own him ahead of Game Week 1, where he definitely would be the most captain player. Moving on to his bench, Quinner has gone the cheap route with Areola, Anderson of Newcastle, Bayer and Archer that makes up his 15-man squad. This draft leaves Quinner with 1 million in his bank, so this allows him to be flexible and will allow him to move on to any bandwagons at the start of the season if needs be. For example, if Maddison starts off well, he can move on to Matoma for Maddison, and if he needs a Chelsea defender in Game Week 3, he can move out Estepinian and he's the funds available. Looking at the foundations of Quinner's team, his team is broken into 3 Arsenal, 3 City, 2 Brighton, 2 United and 1 Liverpool asset. This is down to the fact that each of these teams has a favourable start to the season, so Quinner is setting himself up nicely for a good start in FPL. I spoke with Quinner on his famous 14th overall finish 2 seasons ago, and here's how he played the game to reach that milestone. He recommends playing reasonably safe at the start of the season. just to keep within reach, so sticking close to the template, and punts are for later on in the season. These punts late on is what got him to the 14th overall finish. He recommends an early wildcard to pounce on team value, Gameweek 8 at the latest. He also says to limit hits, and I couldn't agree with this more. And lastly, with captaincy being so important in FPL, it's pretty self-explanatory, but he recommends captaining good players. For example, he'd rather captain Salah against Chelsea than Matoma against Luton. Big thanks to FPL Quinner for sending on his team for this video, and I'll leave his links to his socials below, so make sure to follow him. The return of FPL also means the return of my own FPL Éire Prize League. Here's the code to enter on screen, and all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and follow my socials. The winner will get a Premier League jersey of their choice for the 24-25 season, and second place will get a jersey out of my own collection. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and please do subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.